Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day and you're having fun today. Today we are going to be making this little tote. It's a mini tote bag. It's so cute to make. It's easy. Great for Bible study. You can put your Bibles in there, or a Bible in there. It's a perfect size. Great for the kids to carry from the car to the house. Dewey bag. Going to the daycare, you can put, whatever you need in there. Be good for your quilting or crocheting. You can put that in there. So there's the inside. And then there's the out. It's got these two cute little pockets. All right, are we ready to learn how to make this? Alrighty, let's get going. What you are going to need is for your outer, your main fabric, you are going to need 2 pieces of 7 by 9 inch. And then you are going to need 2 pieces of 4.5 by 7.5, which is right there. 1 piece. I'm sorry, this one was 4 1/4 times 7.5 for the 2 pieces. The next piece you're going to need is 4 1/4 times 9.5, and then 2 pieces of 2.5 by 11. These are going to be your straps. Now, along with your main fabric, you are going to also need to cut the same measurements out of interfacing. I used Pellon 808. You can also use the fusible fleece to give it some more thickness in it. And along with cutting your fleece, your main fabric, you are also going to need a contrasting fabric. Cut at the same dimensions. All right, let's begin. First step you're going to have to do is excuse me, take one of the 7 by 9 inch pieces and then get out your 2 7 by 9s, your 2 4 1/4 by 7.5s, and then your 4 1/4 times 9.5. This is the bottom of your bag. These are for your straps. We're going to put them to the side for now. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is you are going to want to take your main pieces of fabric and your interfacing. And you are going to want to iron on your interfacing onto the main part of the main fabric. So your main fabric will have this, and then your contrasting will not have any interfacing on it. So the first step we're going to, after we do the interfacing, is we're going to put them together. And we are going to pin. Now, if you have fabric that is directional, you're going to want to watch the direction of your fabric. So we pinned that one. And now you're going to take the other side, other front, or the back side of your main fabric, and you're going to do the same thing. Line it up, and you're going to pin. And now take the side panel and repeat the process. Last one. Last pin on the side. Now after you have this all pinned, you should look like this. Now the next step we're going to do is we're going to take the bottom piece, which is the 4 1/4 times 9 1/2, and we are going to put it in here. And you're going to line it up, right sides together, along here. Making sure it aligns with the front piece of your fabric. Just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So we're doing this to the front and to the back. Now after we have this done, you should end up with something that looks like this. There's the bottom, there's the front, the back, and then you have your sides. Then everything is pinned. So now we're going to start sewing. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to line up the sides. This side with the bottom. And you're going to line up those edges. Just like that. And then you're going to top stitch 1/4 inch. And then you are going to repeat on the opposite side, making sure those are lined up. Just like that. And top stitch 1/4 inch. So once finished sewing, you should have something that looks like this. On both sides. Now the next step we're going to do is we are going to sew the bottom to the sides. Alright, so make sure you have both sides done on the bottom. So now your whole bottom piece should be sewn together. You're going to start off with these two and then sew these two. Now our next step is to take our sides, and you're going to do a quarter sew, and you're going to sew along, and you're going to do all 4 of the corners. Alright, so we are back and we have sewn. Cut off our string. Make sure you backstitch your stitches when you sew. Give it some extra security, and everything is sewn. Now you're going to take out your pins, and we have the outside of our bag sewn. I love this daisy fabric. It is so cute. All right. So you should have something that looks like this. Ta-da! When you are finished with it, you want to flip it inside out, or right side out. Not inside out. We're turning it inside out. Right side out. Make sure your corners are all sewn, just to double check. I do not push them out, but I push them out with my fingers, just to make sure. And voila, it is a bag. Almost. The next step you are going to do is you're going to put this aside, and you are going to take your contrasting fabric, and you are going to do the same exact sewing that you did on this one. And this will make the inside of our bag. So let me get this done and I will be back. Alright, so after sewing your inside piece, you should have something that looks like this. Make sure you check to make sure you have all of the corners sewn. And we're going to put this aside for a minute. We're going to work on our straps now, which these are the 2.5 inches by 11 inches. And you'll need your front and your back, so your main and your contrasting. Turn it like this, right side up, contrasting, right sides down. So your right sides are together. You can do this with both pieces. And now you're going to sew 1/4 inch down the 11-inch side. Okay, so after we have sewn, you should have something that looks like this. Next step we are going to do is we're going to flip these. That way our right side is on the outside. And a chopstick works in handy for this too. Or if you have a turning apparatus, that works too. And you are going to do that to both sides. The next step after you get them flipped is you want to iron these to make them flat. And after you iron, you want to top stitch on both sides. Be right back. So now that we have these assembled, it should look something like this. Now we are ready to put our bag all together. So I leave the outside part wrong side out. And I put my top or my outside of my bag inside. So you're going to be putting right sides together. And it should look something like this. Got your right sides together. Now when I pin, we are going to pin the top of this. So when I pin, I start with the side to make sure that it's even. The top unsewn edges are even. You're going to put a pin there. And I flip it around to the other side and do the same exact thing. And then you are going to pin here and here. But before you pin, you're going to take your strap and we're going to place our strap. I always make sure the outside fabric and the outside fabric on our bag are excuse me, on the same side. That way it'll come out with the flowers on the flowers. And you're going to pin through the strap and the bag. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. You're going to want to put these in about 1 inch from the seam, from your sewn seam. Make sure they're up a little bit out so that you can see them. One side is pinned. Ta-da! You're going to do the same thing to the opposite side. Want it about 1 inch from the seam. You also want to make sure that your edges are even, your raw edges are even. Now the next step we are going to do is we are going to sew with a 1/4 inch inseam along the outside of your purse. You are going to leave in between one of the handles about a 2 to 3 inch hole, like in between where the handles are, that we are going to use to flip. Alright, we have that sewn. Take out my pins. Got them all? Now the next step we are going to do is we are going to flip inside out. I left a really small hole. Remember to double stitch, or not double stitch, but back stitch where your hole is so you're not ripping out your sewing. I usually start with one side, so like I'm pulling out the front part first, and then after I get the front part out, I will pull out the inside part, or attempt to. There we go. Alright, so after that you should end up with something that looks like this. There's our hole. Now the next step we are going to do is you are going to push the inside fabric that is on the lining inside. Now you can iron this, make the edges look crisp on the top. The last step we are going to do is we are going to do a top stitch to close our hole. You're going to go all the way around. Alright, so after you are done, you have this beautiful bag. We just finished top stitching and we are finished. What a beautiful bag. Great for your church group, great for your children, great dewy bag. I would use this for a crocheting bag for traveling. Excuse me. You can go ahead and sew this, or not sew this, but iron it a little bit if you would like. I will iron it and get it all straightened out. So there we have it. 2 cute tote bags. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will see you in the next video. Have a good day.